Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlemle in Accra on digital address GA0993341. It's broadcasting live on Joy 99.7 FM, also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by Telesol 4G, proudly Ghanaian. Telesol, just a touch. UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, and Mac Auto Parts Ghana, distributors of Isuzu and Chevy cars. Mac Auto Parts Ghana, with you for the long run. Coming up in this edition, Member of Parliament's Finance Committee storms out of its probe into the collapse of banks, accusing the Bank of Ghana of engaging in a cover-up.
It will deliver no value. I am not willing to be part of it. Why will I sit in that meeting? I won't sit in that meeting. They are just trying to cover up.
We'll get details live as the committee goes ahead with its in-camera session, even as Shraj kicks against the decision.
It will be important to carry the people along, and that is by holding open, transparent hearings so that the people can judge for themselves.
Receiver of defunct Unibank drugs founder Dr. Kwabena Dufour and 16 others to the High Court to repay $5 billion to Unibank. We'll bring you details. Former Executive Director of Media Foundation for West Africa blames recent job losses in the media on the saturated media landscape and NCA's indiscretion in the issuing of licenses.
What we are seeing was bound to happen in the sense that this economy is not in a situation to contain so many media outlets.
Ghana Education Service concedes it hasn't properly conducted adequate sensitization of the double track system, as some parents say in spite of government's vigorous campaign, they still do not understand the concept.
I haven't had more education on it, but only I have just accepted it because that is what is going to happen. And who are the first people to go and who are the second people? Don't know whether the selection will be on the results.
We'll hear from the GAS and get an update from Kumasi, where a seminar with stakeholders on the new system is underway. In sports,
now, fears about Kwadwo Asamoah's injury in the Black Stars camp in Ethiopia has been assuaged as the team prepares to face Kenya on Saturday in the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier.
And later in the bulletin, new vigilante groups Dragons and Hawks emerge within the opposition NDC, but the party leadership distances itself from them, arguing it is not aware of their existence. All that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Details shortly. A member of Parliament's Finance Committee has stormed out of Parliament's probe into the collapse of banks. Isaac Adongo says they were supplied with inadequate documents and he doesn't want to be part of a rubber stamp process. An in-camera hearing is currently underway in Parliament as committee members quiz directors of the Central Bank. The move comes even as civil society organizations kick against the committee's decision not to hold the hearings in the full glare of the public. Head of the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Shraj, Joseph Whittal, says the move does not enhance transparency.
If you look at the current signals from the public, it doesn't augur well for Parliament to draw itself into the imbroglio. People are losing confidence in state institutions that were mandated to regulate the banking sector. People are shocked at the governance failures. And so for you to attempt as the people's representatives to delve into the issues that led to this collapse, it will be important to carry the people along. And that is by holding open, transparent hearings so that the people can judge for themselves. After all, you are going to tax them. It's their taxpayers' money that you are going to use to bail out the banks. So they deserve to know, and to know for themselves and to participate actively.
You heard that Shraj boss Joseph Whittal speaking earlier on the Super Morning Show. Well, Mr. Isaac Adongo describes the probe as a process that will not deliver any value. Speaking to the media after walking out of the meeting, he claimed the Bank of Ghana is engaged in a cover-up.
These are the documents. You can go and look at them, whether this is worth 8 billion. Listen, this is a rubber stamp process. It will deliver no value. I am not willing to be part of it. These are the documents they gave to us. Statement of banking sector, press release by Bank of Ghana, press release, governance speech. When it comes to KPMG, they only give you conditions and opinions of Unibank. There were 5 asset quality reviews at Unibank. There were 4 of them in 1 month. We don't even have that report. They claim that there was a preliminary work that was done by KPMG to take a decision to go into it. We don't have that report. We don't even know the terms of reference of the job that KPMG did. We don't even know what contract we signed with Boulders. We don't even know the full report of Boulders except executive summary of Boulders' work. Why will I sit in that meeting? I won't sit in that meeting. They are just trying to cover up. That's all they are trying to do. Because these are the documents. I have them here. They don't make sense to me. I can't see how the state will spend 8 billion. Close to 6,000 jobs are being lost. A parliamentary inquiry, and this is what they bring to me, and I want to be part of that meeting and give credence to that kind of a meeting. I don't take part in rubber stamp meetings. I feel that my constituents deserve better than this. I am not going to be part of it. When those documents will give me a clearer understanding of what happened and not what the governor tells me, I must read the documents and ask the appropriate questions for the governor to answer. I don't have them. Why? If I read the Boulders report, can't I understand it? Why do you want to give me executive summary? We want to know whether what is in the public is indeed their documents so that we can confirm. We can't rely on what is in the public. We want to have an official document from them. They don't have the documents. What they have here really doesn't speak to the issues. And I can't sit there and be listening to speeches. Very basic. Everybody should know that if you are proving the collapse of a bank and you have done asset quality review, in some instances you went there 4 times in 1 month. There must be a reason. Where is the document? We don't have it. And you are the one now telling me what was in that document? How? You have contracted somebody to do a job. We can't even see the contract document. We can't even see the terms of reference of that job in order to tell whether they did a good job or not. I don't even have the full report. What I have is executive summary, and you pick bits and pieces and you give it to me. And I'm supposed to be asking you questions based on that. You talk about Boulders report. You are referring to it in your preliminary discussions. When I check what I have of a Boulders report is the executive summary. And you think that you took somebody's bank because of executive summary? Clearly, this is not a process I want to be part of.
So you have a member of the Finance Committee, Isaac Adongo, who's just boycotted that meeting. Parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo joins us live on the line. Joseph, we'll get real updates from that committee's probe. But first, which documents exactly were given to the committee that Mr. Adongo is insisting are not enough?
So there are 6 of them. One is what is described as the State of the Banking System report from March 2018. And then what Mr. Adongo complains about even more, the press release from the Bank of Ghana on the appointment of an official administrator for Unibank from March 2018, another press release on the revocation of licenses of the 5 banks, and then the governor's speech when he addressed the media on the revocation of the licenses of the banks, and then the KPMG report on financial conditions and options on Unibank, and finally, an executive summary of the Boulders report. In total, all of this amounts to an 86-page document, and the probe is based on this, but Mr. Adongo thinks they need more before they can continue.
It may be an in-camera hearing, though, but what updates have you been able to pick up from that probe?
So despite Mr. Adongo's decision to boycott the meeting, other members on the Finance Committee on the minority side are participating. We gather that John Jinapor, Fifi Kwete, Richard Champong, as well as Adomako Mensah, who is deputy ranking when it comes to the minority side, are all participating in the session. Currently, Central Bank Governor Dr. Philip Addison is in there. He was given the opportunity to gather to do a presentation based on the documents that they have submitted, and subsequently committee members have been interrogating the responses that he gave. So that is currently ongoing, and it's expected that once they are done with him and his team, which included another deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, a little later in the day around 2:30, officials from the Finance Ministry will be appearing before the committee as the probe continues.
Of course, we'll get details in our subsequent bulletins. There you heard parliamentary correspondent Joseph Opoku-Gakpo. Now, the receiver of defunct Unibank, Ni Amano-Dodu, has dragged its founder, Dr. Kwabena Dufour, and 16 others to an Accra High Court demanding that they be made to repay an amount of 5 billion Ghana cedis to the bank. It will be recalled that the Bank of Ghana last month revoked the license of Unibank and 4 other banks, citing breach of banking regulations and insolvent nature as the basis. The receiver in his writ argues that loans and some assets were acquired unlawfully by some directors and shareholders. My colleague Joseph Akable joins me in the studio with details. So, Joseph, who are the others joined to the suit?
So apart from Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, you mentioned as the founder of the defunct bank, the others are directors and shareholders. So there's also Dr. Kwabena Duffuor II. He was also a director, the head of the bank. We also have Opoku Jemfi Boateng. There's Professor Newman Kojokusi, who you recall was a non-executive director of the bank. You also have Owusu Ansa Are, Eko Nyako Dadzi Dennis. There is also Clifford Duke Metal. There is Boatima Kakra Duffuor Nyako. There is Kofi Dakwa, Nana Boachi Asafweje, and Alex Gadiel Boabin. So these are the other directors or shareholders who were added to the suit as well.
So what exactly does the receiver find wrong in their conduct?
So a number of issues. The first has to do with some transactions that the receiver said they've identified to be unlawful. Now this relates to loans, it relates to assets as well as advances that were made to the shareholders or related parties. So they're asking that the court declares that they were unlawful. The second bit says that as directors of the Unibank, they are liable for all the loss of Unibank occasioned by their acts or breach. They are asking for a declaration that as a number of the defendants are jointly and severally liable for the repayment of the amount of 5,712,623,145 cedis to Unibank Ghana Limited. They go ahead to say that there are some assets that they've listed in paragraph 31 and 32 of the statement of claim. They say that these are assets that were unlawfully taken by these directors and shareholders, and they are asking that they be returned to the bank. They are also asking for another order directing the defendants to account to the plaintiff for all advantages, benefits, gains, and profits derived or obtained by virtue of assets referred to under relief. So they are talking about the assets that they claim to have taken custody unlawfully. If they made any profits by using those assets, they should be made to render accounts for them as well.
I envy you at this point because you get to sit through the hearing of this case. So, of course, we'll bring you details as and when we get it. Let's stay on this issue because we know that the collapse of these banks has led to job losses and its rippling effect. Because the General Secretary of the Union of Industry, Commerce and Finance Workers, UNICOF, John Senanu Amegashi, is demanding government pays former staff of 7 defunct banks their severance packages out of the loans taken to support the financial system. He spoke on the Super Morning Show.
Under the laws of this country, government has raised bonds, 5.7 million bonds for the consolidated bank to pay the redundancy fee, if I'm quoting them right. So if that is the case, then it means that the government had taken into consideration the need to ensure that the workers are taken care of. So when we get into the discussions, I'm sure they will be able to tell us exactly what decisions they are also considering. Then we can also speak on that.
Are you suggesting that this 5.7 billion bond included the workers' severance packages?
It's the comprehensive package that they have. That is what we are asking for. It should be a comprehensive package. If it is for the capital for the new bank, that is the consolidated bank, then the workers to be impacted must also be taken care of from this bond.
Okay.
You have John Senanu Amegashi, he's the General Secretary of UNICOF. In a separate development also, former Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Professor Kwame Karikari, is blaming the recent job losses in the media on the saturated landscape and indiscretion on the part of the NCA in issuing licenses to these media houses. Professor Kwame Karikari's comments comes in the wake of hundreds of media layoffs in recent time, adding that the economy of Ghana at the moment is also making it difficult for some of these media houses to thrive.
What we are seeing was bound to happen in the sense that this economy is not in a situation to contain so many media outlets. And I think that because also the NCA did not really, the NCA also just dished out licenses left and right, we have had this avalanche of media outlets which are now facing the dialectic or the dynamic of competition in a small market for media. So the general tendency is that so much growth in a very short period of time within an economy which is not capable of containing such growth in one industry. which is very capital intensive and at the same time labor intensive because they need so many people to employ, and the technology for setting these businesses up are also quite expensive.
You heard the former Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Professor Kwame Kaikai. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, let's head to Kumasi, where a group calling itself a coalition of unemployed bonded nurses are planning what they call a million walk against the government if they fail to employ all bonded nurses in 2 weeks. The group says several meetings with government on trainee nurses' employment have refused to yield positive results. Members of the group today are marching through the principal streets of all regional capitals except Accra to register their displeasure. Here's President of the group, Daniel Opong.
We have had numerous promises from the government. In fact, the Minister for Health has promised us numerously. In fact, the recent one was on just Monday. He promised that yesterday financial clients will be released when he had a letter for today's processing on the street. But that one never came off. For that matter, our people are agitated and they never believe in any of the promises they have given them. And that's has resulted to a street protesting peacefully today.
So in your last meeting with the ministry, what happened?
Our last meeting with the ministry was with the Honorable Deputy Minister of Health, Honorable Tina Mensah, and then she told us that in fact they have overstretched their budget for this year, which allocated 27,000 for nurses this year. They have overstretched that budget, and for that matter, they cannot absorb it this year unless they make provisions for the next year budget.
So that is what you do not want.
Sorry?
So that is what you are demonstrating against?
Exactly, we are demonstrating for the government to release our financial clearance. We have been in the house for 2 years. We completed in school 2016.
What was the government supposed to employ you?
The government was supposed to have employed us May this year. In fact, May. As soon as you are done with your national service, your government is obliged to employ you. But up to now, the government still haven't employed us.
You heard that Daniel Opong is president of the Coalition of Unemployed Bonded Nurses. Love FM's Nanaya Ojima has been following the protesters and joins us live on the line. So, Nanaya, who do the nurses direct their petition to, and has there been any response from the authorities yet?
Right, the nurses presented the petition to the Deputy Minister, Elizabeth Ajuman, that's the Deputy Ashanti Regional Minister. And she says she doesn't know why the nurses decided to go on the march today because they've had earlier meetings with her, and she told them to bring their petitions last week, which they did bring, and she forwarded it to the Chief of Staff, Madam Shrima Opare, and government told her that they are working on it. And she came back to these nurses to tell them to exercise some patience as government works on the petition. But the nurses decided to proceed on the demonstration. And the nurses' leadership tells me that the demonstration came on because they didn't hear anything from the Deputy Regional Minister. That's why they decided to today embark on the demonstration.
Love FM's Nanaya Ojima there. Let's turn our attention to education now because officials of the Ghana Education Service have conceded they did not properly conduct adequate sensitization of the double track system following concerns by some parents that they still do not understand the concept. Junior high school graduates placed on the green track of the new double track system will start on the 11th of September, with those on the gold track also expected in school on the 8th of November. First, listen to Maxwell Agbaba's report on the concerns of the parents in Joy News Agenda.
Their educational quality, because of they will not be consistent at school. When they are at home, the parents, what will I do to them? It will affect their educational quality.
No. They all have to go to school. They don't have to stay at home at all. They all have to go.
Some voices of parents after government hinted it was going to roll out the double-track semester system. Vice President Mahmoud Baumia would later try to simplify the concept and urge others to do same.
We should explain it, as Osaberima has cautioned us, to the people so that they get to understand what the double-track system means.
My name is George Billy Kalori.
It is afternoon, and I've met George Kalori, who sells books in the Central Business District. One of his 8 children is entering senior high school this month. George says, like other parents, he's yet to understand what the double track system is about.
They will be shifting, but I don't know how much about the shift. I haven't had more education on it, but only I have just accepted it because that is what is going to happen. I've just said that there will be double track. Some people will go and then they will come home and some other people too will go. That's what I've been hearing. So, but I've just accepted it, whatever it is. With the program, they are not telling us when the first people are starting and when the second people are going, and who are the first people to go and who are the second people. Don't know whether the selecting will be on the results.
Aisha Mensah.
On the pavement around the Rollins Park, I've met junior high school graduate Aisha Mensah, the former student of the Justice Amma Memorial Basic School, who is expected to benefit from the new system, seems to know little about it.
Double track school, because it is not really going to help us, and there will be also school dropouts and other things. Not for the double track. I don't understand it and I'm confused about it.
The Ghana Education Service announcing the release of the 2018-2019 senior high school placement stated candidates placed on the green track should be on campus on the 11th September and the gold track on the 8th November. Hopefully, this announcement will bring clarity to the double but apparently complex track.
Well, the Ghana Education Service says it has done its best in explaining to parents and other stakeholders how the system will run. PR of the Ghana Education Service, Cassandra Chum, who spoke on the AM show on Multi TV, however, concedes they need to do more sensitization on the new system.
Yes, I wouldn't dispute that. Again, the communication is also not a one-off thing. We keep communicating wide for the ministry started with this policy and then it was handed over to our Ghana Education Service. And so I wouldn't dispute it that some do not know, but we will keep on. We'll keep on talking to them. You have been giving us a platform. We appreciate it. AM show. I'm very grateful. And so we use that platform and then our traditional method as well. Whatever it is, this is a new policy. We know that we will definitely get there like we got there for the other policies where at the point everybody knew what it is.
Now, speaking of clarity, some stakeholders in the education sector are currently engaged in discussions in the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi, on the double-track system to ensure a smooth rollout. Love FM's Erastus Asaridonko is there for us and joins us live on the line. So, Erastus, bring us up to speed on what is actually being discussed.
Well, quite a number of suggestions, a number of concerns about the implementation of the free SHS itself and the double-track system, the need for the double-track system. And there have been so far suggestions about bringing in private senior high schools to take a chunk of the load to be able to, if want of a better word, say that the double tracking will not be necessary if they bring in the private school system. Some other people have also been suggesting that if we want the private school system to even come in, we should take a look at who is teaching there, the caliber of people who teach there, their facilities itself, whether it meets requirements for public school students to be sent over to that place, and the need for government to even bring in teachers from, qualified teachers from the government system to also teach there and support in other systems. That's what they've been talking about so far.
Love FM's Erastus Asaridonko. Now, on a lighter note, it turns out President Akufo-Addo's mantra of being in a hurry may be costing the education minister his nap. From free SHS through the double-track system to the new curriculum for basic schools and teacher trainees licensure exams, all running in the educational sector, the Minister of Education appears to be under a lot of pressure. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh admitted the introduction of new policies and restructuring the education sector is depriving him of his beauty sleep.
Education is so important for this country and so important as a vision of the president that every time he meets me, he would ask a question about education that astounds me. The last time we met, he said, "What are you doing for teachers?" So this thing, Napo, if we don't do something for teachers, we won't make headway. The next time he said, "This language thing, what is it about?" The other time it was, "This curriculum, when are you going to finish?" 4 big goals. We have to revive or reform the curriculum to deal with the 21st century issues, and the curriculum, move the pupil curriculum and the teacher reform curriculum. We have to take technical and vocational education seriously. We have to do free SHS and now double track. And we have to look at tertiary education and open it up for more pupils, especially the poor and the vulnerable. 4 big issues. It keeps me sleepless. And I'm always awake.
Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, Education Minister. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. It's a good time to take a breather. When we return, new vigilante groups, Dragons and Hawks, emerge within opposition NDC, but the party leadership distances itself from them, arguing it is not aware of the existence. And later, how do you tell who a fake pastor is?
These false prophets, they normally like to bleach their faces. They bleach.
We'll hear more from General Overseer of Royal House Chapel International, Sam Kranchi-Ankra, after the break.
Your family station, Joy 99.7, brings to you the Back to School Fair. It's your one-stop shop for all school supplies. You no longer have to worry about the stress of shopping for your awards. The Joy FM Back to School Fair brings together all vendors under one roof. And if you're looking to enroll or change schools for your child, there'll be reps from various schools to provide the relevant information to help you make that important decision. The date is Friday 7th to Sunday 9th of September 2018 at the Providence Event Center adjacent Otochil Trade Fair. Come along with the kids to have fun and meet your favorite presenters while you shop. Admission is free. The Joy FM Back to School Fair is brought to you by Nataraj by JK Industries and Investments Limited. Nataraj, easy to erase and sharpen, and MTN Mobile Money. Just Momo it everywhere you go. Republic Bank, we are the one for you. Educare plan from Enterprise Life. Enterprise, your advantage. Pepsi, own the moment. Still one Ghana city pay. Big, always gives you more. I know I can.
Now, this very moment, it's the pulse of possibility, potential, power. It's time
to make your move.
To take that step.
The time
is now.
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 The great things you do tomorrow start with the small steps you take right now. So take that step with Old Mutual. Call us on 0302 230 638 and make now count. Old Mutual. Do great things every day.
That is a sweet sound of excellence. That is the sound from Mac. Yes, Mac Ghana is the #1 distributor of the world's best quality Isuzu and Chevrolet vehicles in Ghana. Isuzu trucks from 1.5 tons to heavy-duty vehicles. Isuzu buses from 15 to 33 seaters, double and single cabin pickup, available in automatic and manual transmissions. We also stock a wide range of Chevy cars, from SUVs, sedans, and small cars, fully loaded with exquisite specifications. All our range of vehicles stand out due to its high fuel efficiency, safety, luxury, spacious interior, world-class delivery, and after-sales servicing. What's more, we offer flexible payment terms to meet your pocket. Mark Ghana is a sole distributor for Isuzu trucks and pickups, as well as all range of Chevrolet cars in Ghana. Call us on 0302-813-919 in Accra or 0242-039-550 in Kumasi. Visit our website, markghana.com. Mark Ghana, with you for the long run.
You're welcome back. Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. It's time now for sports.
Yes, like they say, shabu shabu. You know, in an hour's time, the Black Stars will hold their second training session for the day at their base in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. It's been plain sailing until news of Kojo Asamoah's injury came in. The Inter Milan player is said to have limped off training this morning, but according to officials, it's nothing serious. Let's hear from spokesperson for the FIFA and CAF liaison team, Dan Kwekuyeboah.
Kojo Asamoah did not sustain injury during the Black Stars training in Ethiopia as being speculated. The Black Stars trained for 2 hours. Kojo was part of the training for about 1.5 hours. He sat out at the dying embers of the game. According to him, he took a knock at the ankle during the last game he played for Inter Milan in the Italian Serie A, and so he sat out as a precautionary measure and treated with ice block. So he did not sustain injury during training as being speculated.
You heard Dan Kwekuyeboah there. That's your sports for the afternoon, MFA.
So it's a good time to leave you with the sound of the Royal House Chapel International General Overseer Sam Kranchi-Ankra pointing out what you ought to check to determine what a fake pastor is.
These false prophets, they normally like to bleach their faces. They bleach.
It's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Thanks for staying with us. I am MFA Apau. Have a good afternoon.